Welcome back to Book to Read. We were on episode 14, and this time we're diving into Dan Brown's The Da Vinci Code.
Ah, classic.
I know so many people have already read this one, but hopefully we can uncover something new today.
It really captured the public's imagination when it came out.
Absolutely. It sparked so many conversations about, like, history and religion.
Not to mention art. The Da Vinci Code is really good at blending, fact and fiction. It weaves together real historical people, real events, with a totally made-up mystery.
It keeps you on the edge of your seat.
You could say that again.
So today we're going to explore all the key symbols and themes, from the divine proportion to the Knights Templar, and of course, the quest for the Holy Grail.
It's amazing how the book changes the way you look at things. Like, you look at Da Vinci's artwork and suddenly you see all these hidden symbols and messages.
Right. It's like the book gives you this secret decoder ring for the world. And speaking of decoding and connecting with other readers, have you heard of the Bookspace app?
Absolutely. I love Bookspace. It's like the perfect place to geek out about books. You can keep track of all the twists and turns, especially in a book like the Da Vinci Code.
It's a lifesaver when you need to remember all the little details and clues.
Plus, you can share your favorite quotes.
And theories. Don't forget the theories.
How could I? It's also amazing for just organizing your library, which I really need.
Me too. Okay, back to the Da Vinci Code. It all starts at the Louvre Museum.
Dramatic, right?
So dramatic. We have a murdered curator, Jacques Saunière.
And he leaves behind all these cryptic clues. Like, they seem impossible to figure out at first.
It's where we meet Robert Langdon.
Our protagonist.
He's a Harvard symbologist, and the police call him in to help crack the codes. But then, things take a turn.
Dan Brown loves a good conspiracy.
Yeah, it wouldn't be the same without one.
Langdon quickly becomes a suspect.
Oh, yeah. He has to clear his name and solve the mystery, all at the same time.
It's a race against time.
And he has help. Sophie Neveu, a cryptologist, comes into the picture.
She's Saunière's granddaughter. She thinks her grandfather left the clues for her.
It adds a whole other layer of intrigue.
For sure. Langdon and Sophie, they make a really great team.
Yeah, they balance each other out so well. But the puzzles they have to solve, those are something else. Saunière uses the Fibonacci sequence as a code.
That's a mathematical pattern found all over in nature.
It's so cool. It starts with 0 and 1, then each number after that is the sum of the two before it.
You see it in sunflower seeds, nautilus shells, even tree branches.
And it all connects to the divine proportion, also known as PHI.
This ratio pops up in art and architecture. It symbolizes, like, perfect beauty and harmony.
Da Vinci was fascinated by this concept. You can see it in his work. And that's where the book takes this really interesting turn. The clues lead Langdon and Sophie to secret societies.
And hidden truths. They eventually find their way to the Priory of Sion.
This priory is a secret society, right?
Yeah. They say they protect this ancient secret, the truth about the Holy Grail.
Okay, this part blew my mind. The book's take on the Holy Grail, it's not what you expect.
It challenges the whole traditional idea, the Grail as a physical object, a cup from the Last Supper.
Yeah, like this book goes in a totally different direction.
More controversial, too.
Way more. The Priory, they believe the Grail isn't a cup at all. It's a person. Mary Magdalene.
It suggests she wasn't just a follower of Jesus, but his wife and the mother of his child.
So the Priory believes that this secret lineage has been protected for centuries, hidden from the church.
It's like a whole hidden history. The book also talks about the Knights Templar. They were a real military order, and it suggests they had a big role in protecting the secret.
It makes you wonder, if the secret got out, what would happen to the church? Would it change everything we know about history?
Right. And that's where we get to the cryptex.
Oh, the cryptex. This is an invention, right? A cylindrical container.
Supposedly designed by Da Vinci.
You need the correct password to open it, or else.
It self-destructs. Talk about high stakes. It's actually pretty cool that we can just go online if we get stuck on a tough code or puzzle, though. Communities like Bookspace are so helpful.
You know, right? If someone always has a theory or noticed some tiny detail that you missed, it's a fun way to connect with other readers. Okay, so then we meet Sir Lee Teabing.
He's this Grail expert, a friend of Langdon. He helps them understand all the clues.
Like a walking encyclopedia. But then we have Silas.
Uh-oh.
He's a monk. but a ruthless one.
He works for a mysterious figure called the Teacher.
Silas adds this whole dangerous element to the story.
For sure, Langdon and Sophie are constantly trying to stay one step ahead.
The story takes us all over Europe.
And it ends at Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland.
It's a place full of secrets, and that's where the truth about the Grail is revealed.
And that's where we'll pick up next time. We'll delve into the shocking revelations and what it all means.
Welcome back to Book to Read. Last time, things were getting pretty intense. Langdon and Sophie were so close to finding out the truth about the Holy Grail.
The tension was definitely building.
Right. Remember, this Priory of Sion, they believe the Grail isn't some object, but actually Mary Magdalene.
It's a huge shift from those traditional Grail stories.
I know. The idea that Mary Magdalene carried the bloodline of Jesus,
Yeah.
making her the Grail, it's just, wow, it's a lot to take in. But how does the book back that up? It seems like a pretty out there theory.
Well, it looks at all these hidden symbols in famous art, especially Da Vinci's work. The book argues that artists like him used their paintings to secretly communicate the truth about Mary Magdalene and Jesus.
Ah, okay. So it's like a hidden code right
Yeah.
there in the paintings. It makes you think, did Da Vinci actually mean to put those things in there? Or is it just people seeing what they want to see?
That's the fun part, right? It makes you look at these super famous paintings in a whole new way. Take The Last Supper, for example. The book says the figure next to Jesus isn't John the Apostle, but Mary Magdalene.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Something about the figure's feminine features.
And how their bodies make a V shape, like representing the sacred feminine.
Okay, interesting.
And the book goes even further, saying other Da Vinci paintings, even the Mona Lisa, have these clues about Mary Magdalene. You start noticing patterns, connections you wouldn't have before.
Like a treasure hunt through art history. I love it. But let's be honest. The book's claims, they're definitely controversial. What did the church think about all this?
Well, the book portrays the church as this institution that's been hiding the truth, about Mary Magdalene and the bloodline, keeping it all secret to hold on to their power.
So there's this conflict, the church's official story versus the priory's secret knowledge. What does the book say would happen if the truth came out?
It says it could really shake things up, undermine the church. People might question their faith, even challenge the idea of Jesus as divine.
Wow, yeah, that's huge. It makes you think about how powerful beliefs are, how they shape our world. But we have to remember, the Da Vinci Code is a story, fiction.
Totally. It takes those real historical bits and pieces and builds this amazing story around them. That blend of fact and fiction is what makes it so good.
And it sparked so much debate. I remember when it came out, everyone was talking about it. Some people thought it was all true, others thought it was nonsense.
It shows you how powerful stories can be. They make us question what we think we know. Even if you don't buy into the theories, the book introduces all these ideas like the divine proportion, the Knights Templar. It makes you want to learn more.
Exactly. It's like a gateway to all this fascinating stuff. And for me, it really emphasized how powerful symbols can be, how they can hide secret meanings.
You start looking at the world differently, trying to decipher everything you see, like what else is hidden right in front of us.
Right. The Da Vinci Code shows us there's always more to learn, more to uncover. So did Langdon and Sophie ever find the Grail? What happened?
They did. They figured out the final clue, and it led them to Rosslyn Chapel in Scotland. But what they found, well, it wasn't what they expected.
Rosslyn Chapel. I've heard it's super mysterious. The perfect setting for the big finale. So what was the truth? What was at the chapel?
Not a physical object, that's for sure. The Grail, like the Priory believed, is Mary Magdalene herself and her descendants. The bloodline of Jesus is the real Grail.
So it wasn't about the location, but the idea that this legacy could still be out there today. Wow. That leaves a lot of questions unanswered, doesn't it?
Definitely. Where are they now? How have they stayed hidden? And if they came out, what would it mean for everyone else? It's wild to think about.
No wonder people are still talking about the Da Vinci Code. It gives you all these possibilities, makes you think differently about history and faith. But the story isn't over yet, right? We still need to know who the teacher is and what happens to Langdon and Sophie after all this.
So many good questions. We'll answer them all and finish up our deep dive into the Da Vinci Code next time.
Welcome back to Book to Read. We're wrapping up the Da Vinci Code. And man, this book, it really keeps you guessing.
It does, doesn't it?
Like last time we talked about the Grail, but we still don't know who the teacher is.
Right. Who's this mysterious person, controlling everything?
We'll get this. The book says the teacher is Surly Teeving.
Oh, wow. Seriously?
Surley, the one who was helping Langdon and Sophie the whole time.
I did not see that coming.
Me neither. Makes you think back to all their conversations, like was he playing them the whole time?
Makes you wonder if he can ever really trust anyone. But why would he do all that? Why not just, like, reveal the Grail himself?
Good point. Well, the book suggests that Teabing, even though he loved the Grail, he didn't think the world was ready for the truth. He thought it would cause chaos, undermine the church.
So he thought he was protecting everyone.
Yeah, in a way. He wanted to create like a new world order based on the sacred feminine, but he went about it in a really messed up way.
Definitely. Manipulating people, hurting them.
It shows how passion can turn into obsession. Even if you start with good intentions, things can go wrong. What happened to Silas? The monk?
Oh, Silas. Sadly, he was just a pawn in Teabing's game.
He was used, wasn't he?
And in the end, he dies. A victim of his own faith and Teabing's schemes.
It's a reminder that blind faith can be dangerous. You need to be able to think critically, question things, even your own beliefs.
Absolutely. You have to be open to other ideas, look at the evidence.
So, the mystery solved. The teacher is revealed.
Yeah.
What about Langdon and Sophie? Do they get a happy ending?
Well, the book doesn't say if they end up together romantically, but there's definitely a connection.
They went through so much together, facing danger, uncovering secrets.
They changed, because of what they experienced.
That's a journey in itself, isn't it? Finding yourself.
It's not just about finding the Grail. It's about growing, facing challenges.
That's something everyone can relate to, right? No matter what you believe.
Definitely. So what do you think is the main message of the Da Vinci Code?
That's a good question. I think it's about questioning everything. Don't just accept what you're told. Be skeptical. Look for other perspectives.
Especially these days with so much information out there.
You have to be careful. Think for yourself. Question your sources. Look for evidence. Be open to the possibility that, there's more to the story than you first thought.
And I think Dan Brown is showing us how cool art and symbols are. They can hold so much meaning, inspire people for generations.
It makes you see art differently. Like it's not just pretty pictures. It's a whole language. It can tell stories, hide secrets.
Yeah. The Da Vinci Code combines history, art, mystery. It pulls you in, makes you want to go on your own quest for the truth.
It reminds us that secrets are everywhere, just waiting to be found. And that the best journeys are the ones that help us understand ourselves and the world better.
If you want a book that'll keep you on the edge of your seat, make you think, the Da Vinci Code is it. And if you want to talk about it with other readers, check out the Bookspace app.
It's the perfect place to share your thoughts, your theories. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. We hope you enjoyed it. And until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep reading.